We are going to move on now. We've got two guests on the sofa with us from Guntermann Drunck. Two people I always love to speak to whenever we come to these events. We've got Annette and Roland. Thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you for inviting.
No worries at all. Now, we spoke yesterday. We like to come and visit you at your stand at most of these trade shows. It's always a good bit of fun coming and speaking to you guys. For those who don't know, one of you tell us a little bit about Guntermann Drunck and what it is that you guys do.
Well, Guntermann Drunck, we are a major player in the KVM industry, which is a niche industry of the broadcast industry at all. We are concerned with the signals of keyboard, video and mouse, and video plays a big role, of course, in the broadcast industry.
So let's talk about KVM. So people see this bandied around everywhere. What is KVM and what does it stand for and what's it that you do?
Well, KVM is the abbreviation for keyboard and video and mouse interfaces of the computer or workstation or servers. And well, they are from the very beginning of the PC age, and now there's a lot of more signals additionally coming to that. But what we do is we extend or switch those signals coming from the computer, so we can arrange distance between the user at his workplace and the computer, which is located somewhere else, so he doesn't get disturbed by ventilation or heat or whatever, and to have a secure access to the computer.
Yeah, the main focus is to get a good atmosphere in the studios, so that the creative people are not disturbed. Also not disturbed by maintenance people who do maintenance jobs at the PCs. And so that they have a good atmosphere for working, can work concentrated. And it's also good for the people that are in the administration tasks and the IT personnel, so that they can do their tasks undisturbed by the creative people. So we think we do also something good for the workforces, and help these people to get along with each other.
Which is always good. I mean, I've known KVM from an IT perspective, where it is a keyboard and mouse and maybe 2 or 3 computers, and they're just sitting there, and you can just save you having to have multiple screens of keyboard. You do it on a bit bigger and more sophisticated scale than this. You can have one base station effectively, or one keyboard and mouse control how many computers if you need to switch?
It depends a little bit of what you use. Today the trend is going into a direction of big matrix switches, where you have many users that can access many PCs, and the quantity of the PCs depends a bit of the size of the switch. So we have a switch now that has 288 ports, so you can do like 144 by 144 PCs.
Okay.
But you can do anything in between 1 and 287. And you can, at least if you cascade the systems or stack the systems, so you have more switches in one installation, and you can add up around about 4,096 PCs. So that is possible now. So that's a very huge project. Then,
So, if we'll concentrate a bit more on the switching. So we're not just talking about one operator to lots of PCs or systems. We're talking about multiple operators and multiple systems, all of which you can choose.
Yeah, but we also do smaller sizes as well, where it depends always on your application. If you've got one operator working on 2 PCs, let's say in a hotline where they're used to, they need Windows computers or Unix systems, so you've got a switch which just switches over for 2 PCs. There's all sorts of varieties.
I was going to say, when I go to your stand, you've got the big switches there, but you've also got the smaller,
the very small ones,
So you have basically a solution for, it could be as simple as an editor who, as you say, has 2 systems and just wants to switch between those.
The classical switch would be one user to 2 PCs, and that is one user to 4 PCs to 8 PCs, and then you come to multiple users to multiple PCs. That's
multiple graphic cards, and there's such a big variety of signals and users.
Many
and
combinations.
I think we have the most comprehensive portfolio in the market. So there's nothing we cannot do in the KVM sector.
Brilliant. Now let's talk about the connectivity. So if you've got somebody like myself, I'm the operator, and as you say, if you're in an editing environment and you don't want the noise in the machines could be quite a long way away from where they are. How do we connect from those machines to?
There's two There's two possibilities. The easiest one is you use a simple network cable, which is Cat5, Cat6, Cat7. Then you have some constraints on the distance, which is if you use DVI signals, it's 140 meters. If you use analog signals, it's 300 meters. Or you can also use fiber connections, and then you are up to 10,000 meters, or even more than this.
Right, so we can, depending on the length, the distance really is and the number of users would determine how you would specify the solution for connecting the two.
And also it depends on the video signal that's in use. That's always the critical component in the whole system. It's the video source.
So we'll talk a bit about video. So within, obviously, this is the production environment. Video is key, and it's important that if you've got something happening down a few hundred yards away on a system, you still need to have that frame rate. You still need to have that quality on a machine that you're editing on. How does that work with the KVM switch?
Well, it depends on which type of KVM you're searching for. If you are searching for IP systems, which are really flexible in adding a new PC or adding a new user station, you must know that you get latencies in the reactions, you get maybe frame drops in the picture quality. If you use a classical proprietary system like ours, then you do not have any problems with latencies. You can act on your system as it would be beneath under your desk.
So you can literally have your edit suite in one room and the servers that are controlling that in another, and still get the same experience as if you were sitting next to it. Now we were on your stand yesterday, and Annette, you were showing us something about how you can, because people think of KVM switches as buttons you've got to press or hotkeys on a keyboard in order to be able to switch between different systems. And you've got a solution that doesn't require any of that.
Right.
Tell us a little bit about that.
The cross-display switching. Before, the user had to know what kind of infrastructure is lying in the back. So he had to consider what PC do I want to access. So he had to remember a hotkey to switch over from his place to the other computer. But now we've invented a function that's called the cross-display function. And you've got certain amounts of monitors. You can even have a large screen in the system as well, and you can just switch over by moving the mouse, and the KVM system in the background switches over to the other computer immediately, and it even switches not just video but also audio, so the user himself doesn't even have to think about what's in the back. He just can use intuitively the one or the other screen or whatever.
The idea behind is that the user can act on multiple PCs, and it's not very limited. You can use 10 PCs and 10 screens, and he can act as being working on one single desktop, even if he's running on different PCs.
Exactly. I mean, I was looking at it. It looks like you see people with a standard multi-screen setup on your PC, but of course those two screens are on the same PC. It looks exactly the same as that, but you move across to the other screen and you're actually working on a totally separate
It doesn't look sensational, but what's going on in the background is really stunning.
Absolutely, to do that. So from an editor's point of view, they could have After Effects running, doing some rendering on one system. They could see what's going on because they've always got a screen available. Just move back, carry on editing that they're doing, and then say,
it's finished, I can save time.
And they do not press any buttons.
Now, we're coming close to the end of our time. If people want to find you at the show, I'm going to test you now and see if you can tell me whereabouts they will find you.
Our website is www.gdsys.de. I've been practicing that all day.
Well done.
And they can find us in Hall 4 at booth B60. And we are happy for a chat about KVM systems.
Come along.
Brilliant. Thank you guys for coming on. It's always a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you for having us here, John. Thanks.
Thank you,
no worries at all. Go and have a look, if you are coming to IBC, at the Guntermann Drunck stand. I'll say again, they are in Hall 4B60. You can't miss them. They have a massive big teddy bear in there for a start, and lots of other very interesting kit, and the demonstrations they're showing are brilliant. And of course, if you can't get them, the website is gdsys.de. Yes, see, I can do it because it's written down. So make sure you go and see them there or catch them on their website.